Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Annoyed Gamer. I am back. I have been gone for 2 odd weeks or so. I have been in the UK with my family, and then me and my wife, we decided to tour the Champagne regions of France, where we quaffed much bubbly stuff and ate amazing food. And yes, I am twice the man that I was when I left, but I don't give a shit because it was awesome. But I was obviously following what was going on in the gaming world because we had PAX, we had GDC, whole bunch of stuff happened. First of all, I'm wearing this black shirt. Why? Rest in peace, Lucasarts. Disney, really? Let me give you a second to get this to sink in. Lucasarts, the studio that brought us Sam & Max, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, The Dig, Jedi Knight, Battlefront, bunch of great games. You notice I didn't put Star Wars Connect in there because obviously that was a big pile of steaming stank, and it's unfortunate that LucasArts' last ever game, the one that they will be known for, is Star Wars Connect. Yeah, I'm Han Solo. Yeah, Han Solo time. Ugh. What happened on Wednesday when Disney announced that LucasArts was being closed is tragic. They're at the forefront of some of the great graphic adventures of the mid to late 90s, and they will be missed. Disney, what the hell are you thinking? Well, I can tell you what they're thinking. They are basically thinking, well, we're going to do Facebook games, we're going to do mobile games, we're going to do Disney Infinity games. And that means that as gamers who grew up on Super Star Wars or the Star Wars arcade machine, the only chance we're going to have to explore the Star Wars universe moving forward is from our iPad or from a Facebook game, and that's it. And I'm saying no more big Star Wars games because Disney have said they want to license that stuff out. And they have spent the last few months exploring and, trying to partner up with people to, get this license out there so people can start working on games that are based around the next trilogy. Unfortunately, they're probably asking way too much fucking money for it. And yes, I'm back and I'm sweary. I'm pissed. Where is Battlefront 3? Where is the new version of Dark Forces Jedi Knight? Those are great games that combine force powers and shooting and the amazing music. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. If you have never played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, go find it, buy it, install it on your PC. All the stuff that they released from about 93 on was just absolutely cool up until we've had this dross over the last 2 or 3 years. These games are gone. These games, we will not see them in their current life. They're talking about, expanding the universe, more movies, and we're not going to have the games that we deserve. Disney, this is a stupid ass idea. I was happy with your acquisition of Lucasfilm because you took that wonderful library of movies and that universe out of George Lucas's senile, chubby fingers. I love the guy because he gave us Star Wars. Unfortunately, he gave us Star Wars and then proceeded to insert an unlubed finger up our bottoms and wiggle it around. And the reason I was kind of happy that, Disney went out and bought this was because I'd seen how they treat the Marvel properties. Deadpool looks like a cool game. Lego Marvel Superheroes, that looks like a cool game. I mean, the movies had come out and they were really good and it hasn't impacted the comic book side. So I was really hoping that with LucasArts there, this studio, all this tech, that you would start to see them expanding their portfolio. LucasArts working on some Marvel games. That would have been cool. There are people there with skill sets. There are creative people there. Big friggin' mistake, Disney. It was a dark day for video gaming. I gotta say, mind you, props to the guys at Raven Software who actually did Dark Forces Jedi Knight and Jedi Outcast. They actually have released the source code for people to go on mod and create Star Wars stuff on their PCs. So do a search for that, by the way. And yeah, I'm just gutted, LucasArts. Yeah. Next topic is, oh look, layoffs, more layoffs. I mean, yes, we had LucasArts, but we've had more layoffs. We've had Square Enix, who I will go into shortly. And then there's Activision, who have handled things in a rather classy way. And I use that term really sarcastically, to be honest with you, because the Game Developers Conference was last week in San Francisco. One of the great things about GDC is that if you're a developer who's looking for work, or who knows you are going to be looking for work, you can do your resume up and you can take it out and you can drop it off because people have recruitment booths. Lots of companies have them. And High Moon Studios, who are down in San Diego area, it would have just been a short jaunt up for them to go and hand out resumes and all that sort of stuff and maybe get a head start and get something lined up. Because as of Monday, Activision turned around and fired 70 people who had been working on the Deadpool game. I mean, this is obviously after Activision released the Walking Dead game as well, and ooh, how did that go? That's the one that launched the same day as BioShock Infinite, yeah? I think that game was as well received perhaps as the season finale of The Walking Dead Season 3. So maybe they do kind of deserve each other. I kid all you Walking Dead fanboys. The game was probably shit anyway. But also, we've had more layoffs at Square Enix. Now, I'm going to go off on a little rant on Square Enix in a minute, but I'm actually going to give them some props first before I take my belt off and slap them on the ass with it. The way they handled the layoffs was actually pretty classy. The people who knew they were getting laid off had been told, actually a couple of months ago, to give them time to go and find something new. And there are people who are being laid off and they still have another couple of months. Some people are being laid off and are leaving at the end of next week, but they're being taken care of, which I think is very good. Again, it sucks that people are losing their jobs, but if they have to lose those jobs, do it in a way that lessens the blow and gives people a chance to go off and find something new. So well done on that. And that's all the good props you're getting out of me, because now Square Enix, I'm about to kick your ass. So while I was away last week, I saw the earnings report for Square Enix and how they're very upset that the games coming out of Eidos Montreal have not hit their sales target. Pause that for a second. All right, let's look at Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider came out pretty much universal acclaim. It's one of the best games of this year, bar none in my opinion. And I think the reviews back that up. Tomb Raider had its best week one sales in the history of the franchise. That's not me pulling figures out of my ass. That's bona fide fact. It's actually sold 3.5 million in the first month. And that didn't hit your sales projections? Really? Were you expecting 3.5 billion in a month? That game is going to go on to do maybe 5 to 6 million lifetime. That, for a reboot of a franchise that was unfortunately plumbing the depths and was dragging its weary carcass around, is great. And then you also look at, say, Sleeping Dogs, new franchise, great game, one of my favorite games of last year. That sold a couple of million. Not bad at all, really good on PC. Go get it if you got the chance. Hitman, another franchise that needed rebooting, and it was rebooted, and yes, it had some issues, but it was still one of the better Hitman games. That sold another couple of million units. So what is your idea of success, Square Enix? How about this? Let me tell you what my definition of a successful company is. It's a company that invests in its games, in its people. It puts together great teams. Let's go through this. Tomb Raider, Hitman, Deus Ex, that was another good one. Oh, these are all out of Eidos Montreal. And we have Thief 4 coming out of Eidos. Those guys got their act together. They really did. Yeah, I know Crystal Dynamics worked on Tomb Raider and blah, 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 but I mean, it's still within that Eidos umbrella, if you will, for pedantic hair splitters out there. Now let's look at the rest of the Square Enix portfolio. In fact, let me just put my hand on my ass, crap in my hand, and then I'll have something that looks like the Square Enix portfolio outside of the Eidos games. I'm talking about Final Fantasy. I'm talking about all the different iterations, tic-tacs, tactics, whatever the hell you got going on. Basically, all the wanky, pretentious crap that really doesn't sell outside of Japan. And I know there are people who watch this show who are going to go, oh, you're racist. You don't like true gaming. You hate Japanese gaming. Guess what? I grew up on Japanese games. I used to love Japanese games. I just wish Japanese games weren't fucking stuck in 1995. I'm also sick of pedantic little tits like you bothering me on Twitter and having a go at anybody who has the temerity to criticize Capcom, Konami, Square Enix, or Nintendo, because your heads are up your asses. You're a sad minority of fanboys, and the sooner you get out of video games, you could do us all a big favor, because you're holding games back. You're empowering companies like Square Enix to wander around bitching about the LA office, bitching about the European office, while they make mistake after mistake, funding a bunch of CGI animated crap with gameplay that looks out of date in 1998. Ooh, it's good to be back. All right, that's the show for this week. My Twitter is @AnnoyedGamer. If you are pissed off by what I had to say about the Square Enix fanboys, and I'm going to be here week after week, and I'm going to come after people like you because you're enablers. You enable the likes of Square Enix to live in a bubble, Square Enix Japan in particular, to live in this bubble that says everything we do is right. We will continue to pander and waste money on a Final Fantasy franchise that really has died a death. Ni no Kuni kicked your ass this year, for God's sake. Ni no Kuni is the best JRPG the Square Enix have never released. How about that? Anyway, I'll be back next week, so have a good one. Bye.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.